whenever we shut Greenville Springs down, he and I were there the last day that it was really not even open, but like we were closing the doors, and you can tell, like, I'll get emotional about this.
Yeah.
And I said, how do you feel about all this? I mean, this was only 5 or 6 years ago. So from 1957 until when he started in the company to then, like, this has been home. And he's like, the store doesn't do it for me. It's all about the people.
We're guys and gals that live in this parish. We just want to make our home better.
Yes.
We want to make it safe for our kids. We want our kids to want to stay here.
Yes.
I don't want to have to travel to, Tennessee because that's where my grandkids live.
100%.
I want them to stay right here.
Yeah.
And that's why I do.
I was with the state police at the time, and one evening I just called her, and we already had the license, but I called her. I said, get ready, we're going to get married. So went to Max Owens, Justice of Peace in Albany, and which is where I got my hair cut, and you can get your license done and everything else. And
That's awesome.
I knew Mr. Max, but I walked in, and the young man sitting behind the desk, I had arrested before. So I walked in, his eyes went.
Of course, I went with option 2, and he said, we need to FaceTime your wife. I went with option 2, and we FaceTimed my wife, and we had this conversation. And I had told her, I said, babe, I want to let them put me on the ventilator. And she said, you do what you have to do to get better so you can come home.
Love it. Love it.
I had a choice at that point in my time. 17 years old, just got expelled from high school, not allowed to do anything. I mean, I'm literally on probation. I had to go see the community service. I'm picking up trash on the side of the road at this point.
Yeah.
At 17 years old, like, I have a choice. I can stay this route, hang out with the same people, do the same thing that I'm doing, or I can do this route. And I chose the other path.
Because I'm not naive enough to think that there's not a million other insurance agents out there doing the same thing that I'm doing. But what separates us from them is the personability, the family aspect, the relationships, like you said,
That's right.
And I've built relationships with clients and referral partners alike, and so they trust me.
There you go. And trust is probably the number one thing in insurance.
Yes.
I think whenever you can see someone model those behaviors and those skills for you, because I don't think it comes naturally. So you have to be able to see those things and work through those things. It wasn't always easy, but my grandmother, which is one of my greatest influences, probably in my personal life, she always had the saying, bloom where you are planted.
Love that.
And she would, and she was the epitome of that.
Networking is vital.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have that personality to walk up to a stranger and introduce yourself and shake their hand and, talk about what you do and, inquire what they do kind of thing, it is vital.
Yes.
Because,
Yeah.
we met BNI,
Yeah.
years and years and years ago.
Yes.
So, and that was huge. You got to get out there. You have to engage with your community.
They are the heart of Natasha Marie Brattle. We're a small team. We're small but mighty.
Yeah.
From day one, I instill in them that so much more than just a dress, right? Like your job's not just to sell the dress. So a lot of times, like when I'm interviewing somebody, they're like, "What all is the position?" And everything. You do everything. Everybody does everything.
And that's that's the difference between brand and sales. If you can build a brand, then you're the person, you're the one that they know. You are the brand, and you're the ambassador for that brand.
Yes.
And so if you think of someone, in my market, everybody compares me to something like Steve Irwin because he's an Australian and he was allowed and he did. But he wasn't the only alligator hunter out there. There were thousands.
Yes.
Or crocodile hunter as it was. But he was the one that stood out. He was the brand.
And so I go out to this story, and I'm missing my mom. She's missing her kid, and we just embraced, right? Like I filled something for her. She filled something for me in our hearts. And I just learned about her son, Justin. And she said, I just don't want people to forget him. Like, he's a hero. He saved all of these lives through donation at a time when we weren't talking about donation like we're talking about it now. So before I left, I signed up to be a donor. I remember I was crying. I wore a lot of makeup then.
A lot of people look at my situation and tell me, oh, you lost your mom very young. You don't have a dad. You don't have this like we do. You don't have that like we do. I'm like, that's okay. I don't have it right now, but I'm going to get it. And I'm going to be something, and I'm going to make sure that every adversity that I went through in life, I'm going to take that and make myself stronger.
Yeah, like, I love chocolate, like, big time. There's been a few people, quite a few people who have tried it already since I've put it out there, and they'll tell you, like, when you taste it before, it's good, but something about it, the chocolate does something where it enhances the chili powder, the cumin, the things that really make a chili. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'll put chocolate in chicken noodle soup. It don't
man, look at you. You love chocolate, huh?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I need to make a video of that. Drop your chocolate in there.
You want a video to go viral? Put chocolate in your chicken noodle soup.
So you and a friend went to a rodeo when you were 17, and you rode an actual bull.
Yes. I did not stay on for 8 seconds, maybe an eighth of a second. And
Popped you right off of there.
I knew the bull went one way and I went the other, and I never did it again. I will never do it again.
But
it's super important, because if it wouldn't be for the community, we wouldn't be open.
Yeah.
We're a cash flow business.
Mhm.
If it wouldn't be for our community and people that support us,
That
like
we
I
give
said,
support back to them.
we wouldn't be here. But at the same time, people that support us, we want to help support them in
Yes.
any way we can or way.
Yeah.
Whether if it's just a small thing of a gift card to a sponsorship of some sort. I mean,
Yeah.
you give and you get back, basically.
I look at it as this: these deputies, we have to be involved in our community. And this goes back to when I very first started law enforcement. I've heard this phrase on and on and on. You're going to continue to hear it. We're only as good as the information we receive.
Yes.
And you don't receive information unless your community trusts you. And you have to maintain that trust. These programs do so much for these deputies.
Exactly. It's not waking up, just go to work. For me, it's my hobby.
Yeah.
That's my fishing. I love people. I love creating new stuff, and I enjoy what I do.
Yes.
And I do it with my heart all day long.
Love it, man. Love it. Now, let's talk about that location in Walker, because it took you a couple of years kind of to find what you, I guess, would classify as the perfect location for you.
Growing up was never fun for me.
Right.
You know, we all have rough pasts, but mine, I don't know, my mom and dad were there, but they weren't there.
Mhm.
So we kind of had to raise ourselves. I've got 5 other siblings.
Oh, wow.
So when I got a little bit older, probably 8 or 9 years old, I always drew. Like, I
Yeah.
loved drawing. That was my escape from
Yes.
everything.
Okay, well, my brother Alan, I guess it's been 3 years ago. He committed suicide. It was a very tragic, extremely hard time for my family, as you could probably understand. He was a very happy person on the outside mostly, and he loved to do most things that most people in Livingston Parish like to do: fish, hunt.
Because if you're not pouring into yourself, how are you going to pour into those children? How you are as a mother, you can't, if you're empty, your children will be empty. You have to have that fullness. You have to love yourself. You have to put yourself first. It's not selfish. It's God, your relationship. But we forget as women, and I guess lacking that growing up, I want to give it now.
Yes.
I'm like, let me give it to people because
Yes.
I know what it's like not to have it.